This is the Gen Y Leaders Podcast. Welcome to the Gen Y Leaders Podcast, where we guide millennials to become the next generation of business leaders and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Eric Huey, and multiple times a month, we bring you interviews from high-performing millennials who are challenging perceptions and changing expectations of our generation. Our mission is to help you overcome fear, take action, and go confidently in the direction of your dreams. It's time to start preparing now, mainly because 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every day, which will create a vacuum of career opportunities that you've been waiting for. Will you be ready? Kylie, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate taking the time. You are kind of a local, regional, and at this point, national rock star in the jewelry space. We'll get into that in a minute, but if you could just tell viewers who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks. I'm working on that status, I guess. Let's see. I am the founder and CEO of Nickel Suede, and we are based in Kansas City, but we are a nationwide company. We sell all over the world, and we make lightweight leather statement earrings. That's started with the earrings, and that's been our primary business. So these look like metal. My earrings are big silver teardrop metal looking earrings, but they're actually leather, so they're extremely lightweight. Can't feel them. And so we started that about 6 years ago, and really just took kind of this new idea in jewelry and just really exploded it. So we do jewelry. We also sell hats. Like anything that's a big statement making accessory is really where we're at.
Yeah, very nice. My wife is super excited about this episode. She's already eager to listen to it because she loves your jewelry. And even my mom, at a certain time ago, I had no idea Nickel Suede was even based here. So to get into this entrepreneurial space in KC and start meeting people and find out that you are here is a really cool thing. But if you could just tell listeners, what's your why? Why Nickel and Suede? Why did you start this company?
Yeah, so I think it's a process to figure out your why, and sometimes people know it immediately, and some people, you figure it out as you go. And I thought I knew why I started the business, and we started our business because we came up with a really great idea for jewelry that no one had ever done before. But before Nickel Suede, I had a style blog called One Little Mama, and my blog had taken off and grown, and it was a style blog, but it was really based on telling my authentic story and my stories of being embarrassed and stories of motherhood and stories of just being real. And I had just this audience that really trusted me. And what I loved doing for them, and the reason I loved blogging so much, is that I loved putting out content that helped women feel like, oh, it's not just me. Yeah. Oh, I can wear that if I want to, and making trends and things feel like they were accessible to women in ways that maybe they thought something was holding them back from doing it, but there really isn't. Yeah. It's just in our minds. And so we started this company, and yes, these are lightweight, comfortable earrings that really can take the place of any jewelry. But then realizing that for so many of our customers, these earrings become a symbol of, I can do anything, because if I can put on a huge pair of earrings that people are for sure going to notice, and granted, we have multiple sizes, we have all different things, but they're statement making. Yeah. That, if I'm going to be willing to put myself out there and, just by wearing something a little bit more outside my comfort zone, then that is like a stepping stone to doing a lot more things outside their comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And so really I've found that my why is helping women believe that they can find their purpose, they can pursue their passion, despite maybe what box they feel like they currently are sitting in. And so just breaking outside that, trying new things, being willing to go after being their authentic self. And sometimes that just starts with breaking the ice with a pair of earrings or a big hat or some red lipstick. You just have to believe it first. Yeah. So
It's a great mission. I can tell you're very passionate about just the way you talk. So it's really neat. We've had the opportunity to catch up a few times before this recording. Um, and of course, you were telling me all about your quote unquote origin story of how Nickel and Suede came to be. And you mentioned, working in the garage at one point and, all the different iterations that the business has been through. So I think that's really cool, really intriguing. So if you could maybe just give like a high level overview for a couple minutes of, how you started the business and all the ups and downs you faced.
Sure. Yeah. So the business did start in our little split level home in our basement, and it really started because I needed a pair of earrings to match an outfit, and I always wore silver metal teardrop earrings, and I was like, I need gold. I have this signature look, but I don't have a gold pair. And so we had gold leather, and the do it yourself, figure it out, make it happen in me just was like, oh, I think that leather would work. And so I cut out the leather. It had the same look, but a new function. And so when I showed it to my husband, he's the quality guy, the perfectionist guy, the systems process guy. And over time, he's like, well, we can make this better than cutting out with scissors, first of all. And second of all, like, okay, let's see what happens with this. And so as we showed it to more women, and it suddenly was like, this is a new idea. This is like, has huge potential. He jumped on board. And so we started Nickel Suede in June 2014 officially. He quit his job, and then we've been working together ever since. So we were in the basement, and we thought we can stay here forever. These are tiny products. We could just ship 1 million earrings out of here. And then realized over time that the potential that it had was more than that. So we got out of our basement, and we opened a little retail store in 2016, thinking that would be more like a little pickup window because we were tired of the pickup window being our house.
Right.
And it turned into actually a destination for customers who were just loved our story, loved our products. And so that's how retail became part of our story. So we have since moved out of the basement, our third move. So we're now in a much bigger facility and have a retail store here in Kansas City. We just opened one in Dallas, and then we're opening one on the plaza this fall. So retail, online, and then some wholesale. So
congrats on all that growth.
Lots of earrings along the way.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congrats on all that growth so quickly. That's really great. You mentioned also working with your husband, him quitting your job. How's that been? I know, a lot of people out there who could potentially work with their spouse, but they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's that like? Do you think it can work for everyone, or does it just depend?
I would say it's as hard as you think it is.
That's a very tactful way of putting that.
Yeah, so I've had 2 babies since we started Nickel Suede. We have 5 kids together and a dog. And so he's run the business, the day-to-day operations for many years. And it's just been in the last year that I've been able to be at work full time, like really running the operations. And so we tag team it, but we're just really different, which makes us have a broad range of skill sets at Nickel Suede, but also creates a lot of buzz between us. So.
Never a dull moment, I assume.
No.
You mentioned your underlying mission of, helping and empowering women kind of go after their dreams, their passion, their purpose. From what I understand, you also have a podcast too as well. Is that correct?
I do.
Yeah. Do you want to plug that real quick or mention that?
Yeah. So it's called With Kilee Nickels, and the purpose of the podcast is really to continue to push the mission of Nickel Suede and to help women, customers, listeners hear stories of other women who've been successful doing the same things. So I don't believe that every woman needs to start a company like I have, or even go into the workforce. Sometimes their mission or their purpose may be volunteering or adoption or advocating for their child, but there's a lot of things that hold us back from even just anything that feels unknown and foreign. And so I the goal is to interview guests that have broad range of backgrounds that have just gone after and found ways to be fearless and passionate about what they do. And then also to plug my learnings along the way. This week's was about, remembering we have a choice in everything that we do. And sometimes we forget, and that makes it really hard to have an intentional life. So.
Yeah. Love that mission. So anyone who's listening and interested, be sure to go check that out.
Yeah.
So what's been your, the most rewarding part of all this, kind of your underlying mission, whether it be the podcast or the business itself? What's been some of the most rewarding moments that you can remember or take away?
I think it's always been the customer stories that we get. It's always been whenever we feel like we've touched an individual life.
Mm,
We have a Facebook group of about over 6,000 really engaged, amazing women. And seeing just even how they interact together has just been so rewarding to feel like, wow, look, we brought this group of incredibly strong women who are going after their dreams and they're encouraging each other. And that just feels like the fruit of that is so rewarding to feel like we're making a difference. We're helping people go after their dreams.
most definitely. Yeah, and you mentioned the idea of choice and mindset with women kind of tackling goals. Not always entrepreneurship, but just goals and aspirations that they have.
Yeah.
What would you say are some key mindset shifts or ideas that have helped you or helped women that that you've empowered?
Yeah, I think a couple of them that really have been part of my story, and things that are part of my story are really one way that women connect to our brand and to me, is, start now. Like tomorrow is going to come anyways. And you only have as big of an audience or only have as many people watching you as, like zero at the beginning. Like you
Yeah.
have to do the first day, you have to start the first episode, you have to write the first blog post to get to number 50. But
Mm,
it's going to be crummy at the beginning. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be embarrassing. Like I didn't want to start my podcast because I was like, but I'm already good at blogging and people already know that I'm good at this and I'm going to be bad at this at first. And so being willing to just, oh, well, if I want to be good, I have to start now.
yep.
And either way, time's going to pass. So that one, I think, and then it kind of rolls into the like small things add up to big results. So like doing a little bit every day, it's amazing to see how much you can accomplish. But I think we discount that when we look at the big picture that we're trying to accomplish. And it's just like, I could never do that. I could never be that. I had a guest on the podcast in the fall, and she was telling me how her dream has always been to go to law school. And I was so like, that's so exciting. That's so encouraging. She's a mom of, I think, 3. But this last week she texted me and she said, guess what? Like I'm starting law school this fall. Like I'm so excited. And I think it really just took breaking down like small little steps. Okay, what do I need to do to make this dream happen?
Yeah.
And law school seems like an enormous obstacle to me. Like I would be so overwhelmed by it, but just getting into law school is the first step. Like
Yeah.
just do the things that get you into it. And then of
Right.
course you can do what's after that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I love the point about just taking action, just starting. The quote I always see floating around on the internet is, "There's someone out there less talented than you doing what you want to do, and
yeah,
already succeeding at it. So just go ahead and get started."
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
totally. And then you talk about this process as far as kind of breaking down a larger goal into a smaller goal. I think that's huge and something that's definitely overlooked, and that we should more so be emphasizing the small habits, routines, processes, daily things we're doing that add up to the big goal and stay focused on that, not so much the big goal.
Yeah.
So I guess talk a little bit about that and maybe some of your own personal planning processes and then how you empower women as far as, what's the roadmap look to get to A to B?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I go through phases of being more disciplined than other times, but I think, I think that that's honestly really important to acknowledge that we
Yeah,
all do that. And so if we say that it has to be like written out and mapped out and that's the only way, like not happening.
right.
But to me, like I try to I call them brain dumps, but just like brain dump, like everything, like my goals for the year, like what are all the things I envision, like I would love to have happen this year. And honestly, just getting that down on paper somehow triggers something in your mind and you start behaving in smaller ways during the day or during your days and during your weeks. But then I think there's also, like I said, like just starting the thing you don't know how to do.
Mhm.
And like everything I've done, I didn't know how to do it ahead of time. Like I didn't know how to do a podcast, I didn't know how to write a blog, I didn't know, like I literally haven't done anything before, and that's what I continue to do, is try new things. And so I think just understanding you don't have to know how to do it, but you can go find someone to give you a little bit of a roadmap. Like, go find the expert, ask them where they started, and just be willing to jump in and have it be like repetitive, messy. Like, you have to write a blog post every day, 5 days a week, in order to figure out how to have a decent one. Like,
Yep.
I think just asking the expert and then being willing to just be messy. So.
Yeah, definitely. I like what you said too, as far as, you referenced your friend who's going to law school. Like, don't worry about, what being a lawyer looks like. Just first, worry about what gets you into law school. Like, don't get too far sighted. I've heard it, put as, if you have, like 10 checkpoints along the way to your end goal, don't worry about going or getting to 10. Just worry about what gets you from 0 to 1, and focus on that. So, I appreciate all your insights. We're wrapping up here, but anything else on your mind in general that you want to relay to our audience, or anything you'd like to say to help empower women, anything like that?
I think, sure, I'll leave you with a thought that's been on my mind this week, which is just that, I think we have to be able and willing to evolve, and like that's just part of life. And sometimes we get held back by trying to be the old person we used to be, or life used to be so great when it was this. And like, we're currently really all of us are like, can it go back to normal, please? But like, I think that's where the opportunity lies. And like, even just going after goals, like you literally have to change and become somebody new as you create new habits, as you learn new things. And so I think just really like the people who thrive and succeed are the ones who embrace that. And so I just would encourage people to embrace like the next, part of your life is going to demand a next version of you. And so like, be willing to be that and go after it. So
great advice. Thanks for that. Two final questions to wrap up the show. First one, what people, books, or resources have made an impact on your life or your business?
So Brene Brown has always been one of my favorites, but she was really, her book, The Power of Vulnerability, was one of the first that really helped me start breaking out of my boxes, and just realizing that it's okay to be vulnerable and to be yourself. And then Simon Sinek's Start With Why, like that really, I think like your why is worth it. Like understanding what that is, like really helped me. And then the 22 immutable laws of marketing has actually been a really interesting read for me as far as marketing goes and having a business. So
yeah, very cool. Thanks for those. And then lastly, where can people best get a hold of you if they want to get some earrings, or if they just want, business, personal advice?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Kilee Nickels. So just my name. The podcast is with Kilee Nickels. And then nickelandsuede.com is our business. And we also have social media. All of them are at Nickel and Suede. So
awesome. And we'll be sure to link to all those in the show notes as well for listeners. Kilee, thank you so much for your time today, and really appreciate all your insights.
Yeah, so great to talk. Thanks so much, Eric.
All right, see you. That wraps up today's episode. We hope to have brought you some valuable key takeaways. Most importantly, whatever you learned, take action on it. Apply it to your life. Apply it to your career. Motivation and inspiration only come as a result of taking that first step. So if you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe on whichever platform you found the show. You can also follow us on all the major social media platforms, or contact us directly at genwhyleaders@gmail.com. That's GENWHY leaders@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Eric Huey, and thanks for listening to the Gen Y Leaders Podcast.